Okay, great. Sorry about that. All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the My Resume Myth session. I'm Amrita, and I'll be hosting tonight's session for you. So we've got almost 1,000 of you registered, and thank you so much for showing up. So tonight we're going to be tackling one line that shows up far too many times on rejection emails, which is not enough experience. If you're a fresher, you have probably heard it before. Tonight, we're going to prove that it's often just a problem with your resume and not an experience problem. So, joining us tonight is Pavithraa, who is a new hire trainer at Careernet, who works with freshers every single day and has seen exactly what separates a resume that gets shortlisted from one that gets ignored. Quick housekeeping, drop your questions in the chat as we go, collecting them for a live Q&A at the end of the session. And stick around till the close because we've got a couple of things for you after Pavitra's session that I think you'll want to see. All right then, so Pavithraa, over to you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Amrita, for the intro. And it's really exciting to see a lot of people joining in, and I can see your chat or your highs on the side. And as I go through the session, if you have any doubts, you can put it on the chat, and I will pick the questions from there and answer you. Right. And let's quickly start the session. I don't want to keep you all waiting. Right. So I am Pavithraa. I'm a new hire trainer. And to quickly say what I do in Careernet, I train recruiters on how to, various recruitment skills. And one important thing is what can they see in a candidate's resume, right? What are the things that they should see and how can they engage with candidates? How can they spot the right candidates? And today with you guys, I'd be talking about how can you structure your resume in a way where these recruiters can identify your resume, right? And before we get into the session, I would like to know from you guys, how confident are you with your resume in a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least and 10 being the most confident? If you all could quickly put your numbers, how confident are you with your resume? You can put it in the chat and I'll be able to see. All right.
Okay, looks like we've got a slightly shy bunch here. No worries. Why don't we jump right in, Pavithraa?
Oh, okay.
Some responses.
I can see some responses here. All right, I can see 6, 7. That's pretty good number. And anybody else? 6, 8. Okay, good. 7, 7, 5, 7, 9. Oh, that's nice. 8. So we are in an average of 7, 8. That's great. All right. So we will get started. Right. Okay, and I hope my screen is visible to you guys. Great. All right. So yeah, many of you are having this question, right? How can I show experience in my profile even though I don't have any experience, even though I don't have relevant certificates in my thing? How do I show it in my profile, right? So those are the things which we are going to address in this session, right? And here we'll be addressing what can you add in your resume and how can you add it. That is also very important, right? How do you put it in the resume is very, very important, because like you would have heard about the ATS screening and then again the recruiter screen through your profile. So how do you gain that attraction is something which we are going to see, right? And to start with, where freshers can find experience. So all of you think I have nothing to add, there's no experience, what will I add in my profile? But there are 7 places where your experience is hiding. Right? You have your academic experience, project, certification, competition, clubs, volunteering, and your internships. Now, here, I'm pretty sure most of you would know, okay, these are the things that I'm supposed to add in my profile, but how can I add these in the profile? I'll be addressing that. But for the others who are not aware of all these sections, I'll just quickly give you all a brief about it. Now, academics mostly covers all your assignments which you've worked, and if you feel there's any assignment which is worth highlighting in your profile, those things you can add it in your profile. And if there's any group projects that you've worked on, you can put that. And I'm pretty sure in your final year you would be working on certain research paper or any projects to build a website, an app, something like that you would have worked on in your final year, right? So those are the things which you can add in your project section. And then comes your certification. And I'm pretty sure during your course, or maybe even after that, you would have taken certain certifications related to your stream. Those certifications also you can highlight in your profile. And if you have participated in any type of competition like hackathons or any kind of quiz competition, anything like that, you can highlight that in the competition section. And then clubs, you have various clubs in your colleges. If there's anything worth highlighting, you can add that also in your profile. And volunteering and internship, obviously that is something which you will do mostly in your second year and third year during your college, right? Even if it's an unpaid internship, if it's for 1 month also, you can highlight that in your profile. Now, does it mean that you have to add all the 7, or does it mean that you have to have experience in all the 7 areas? Not necessarily. Now, if there are only projects and internship experience that you have, you can highlight that. If you feel like you've contributed more in club activities or volunteering activities, you can highlight that. So that is very individualistic. And if you feel if that is worth highlighting, you can add that in your resume. So these are the things which we'll be seeing. How can we put it in the resume? I will quickly show you all a structure of a resume. Let me. Yeah. So this is a sample resume of a fresher. Whenever a recruiter is screening through a profile, they mostly screen it in an F pattern or E pattern, because they just take few seconds, like 6 to 7 seconds ideally. A recruiter takes to screen through a profile to understand if this candidate is a good fit or not, right? And while screening that, they screen it in an F pattern. F pattern here, mostly they'll be covering your personal details section, the name, your location, have you mentioned your email ID, your contact number, so that they can reach out to you. So that is very important. That comes as your first layer. And then a quick summary about yourself. Now, if you come with a year or two experience, you can mention about that, whatever you worked in that 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years. Now, if you don't have any experience, you're like a total fresher, then you can highlight the skills that you have, and you can highlight what are you seeking in your profession. So here you can see seeking a marketing trainee business development associate role to apply campaign planning, stakeholder communication, and analytical skills in a fast-paced business environment. So you can see this person is looking for such a role. So if you have absolutely no experience, then you can mention what are the roles that you're targeting, right? And after that comes your education section. Most of you add your education section in the last, but what I would suggest is, if you're a total fresher, it's better that you add your education right after your summary, right? And here you can see they've highlighted the specialization and the year. Again, year is very important. Please don't forget that, the start and the end year, and which college, and CGPA. Now, CGPA, is it really important to put it on the resume? If you have a really good CGPA, no harm in putting it on your resume. But if you feel like CGPA isn't that great, it is okay. You can totally skip CGPA. And here you can see the person has highlighted about the assignment, the project which they had done during the course. Right? And then comes the practical experience. So here the person talks about their internship. Again, internship, it is important to mention the start and end date. Here you can see December 2024 to Feb 2025. So he's mentioned the internship experience and also event coordinator at college, whatever activity the person had done, they had mentioned that. So if you have anything like that in your practical experience section, you can mention that. And then comes your academic and independent projects. So if you have been a freelancer and you've worked for projects apart from your college projects, you can definitely highlight all that in your profile. But always remember, highlight the title and also mention the timeline. When did you start and when did you end? Okay, that is important. Then after mentioning your internship, your project, then comes your certification. In certification, what are, again, add the relevant certifications, whatever you've done, you see if it's relevant for the role you're applying, and then highlight that in the certification section. And then comes your extra, all your volunteering, all your club activities, all this comes in the last. And here if you see, this person has mentioned skill and separately tools, what are the tools that they've used, and the core is what is the domain that they're seeing, like market research, campaign coordination, budget management. So these are the kind of roles that they're looking for, right? The person has highlighted. Now this skill section, you can also bring it up after your education. If you want to prioritize your skill section, you can always bring it up on your uh, after your education section. Okay, so this is the basic structure of a resume. And whenever a recruiter is scanning through, they just see the headline and your personal details, your summary, and these headlines, and the timeline also is something which they emphasize. So ensure that you add all this in this pattern, the 7 things which we had just discussed. Okay, so this is to quickly give you all the structure of the resume. And now you know what other things you can add. So these are the 7 things which you can add in your resume, and this is the structure in which you can go ahead. Now, coming to my PPT. Yeah. So here we are going to see how can you convert all these experience into a proper resume bullet. So here you have to understand that resume is not just a document where you're just listing your activities. No, your resume should also show what kind of evidence you have that you exhibit so and so skill, right? We all have this habit. Even I've been in your place, right, where I don't know what to add in my resume. Should I add this skill, that skill? And mostly we emphasize on soft skills, adding like hardworking or team player, collaboration. So such words we tend to add in the soft skill section. And if you have any technical experience, so in the technical skill section you add all your tools that you worked on, right? So this is how we go ahead with our resume usually. But if you want to structure a very strong resume, then you have to keep these things in your mind. You know what to add and in what structure to add. Now how to add, this answers that. Now when I train the recruiters, I always tell them, when you're screening through the candidate's profile, when you're reading through their profile, just don't see the skill section and come to a conclusion this is a good profile. You have to read through their roles and responsibilities. And how can you identify if this candidate is a good candidate is by seeing their action verbs. Action verbs as in, say I've given example here, like led, built, designed, coordinated. So that's how you're supposed to start your sentence. Usually what we do is we start with responsible for so and so activity, or worked on so and so, worked on Python, worked on Java, responsible for um, social media engagement. That's how we add, but it doesn't really emphasize what did you actually do in that role. You were responsible, but what role did you play in that particular social media engagement, right? So that's where you start with your action verbs, like led a team of four, or built an app, or designed a website, uh, coordinated with my team, or coordinated with the club, my college club, analyzed data. So this is how you're supposed to start your sentence. Now what this shows is, when you add led, it shows your leadership skills. When you've added coordinated, it shows that you're a team player, that you collaborate with people. So such things you don't have to put it in a different section in skills, highlighting I'm a hardworking person, I'm a good collaborator, I'm a good team player, I have leadership skills. You don't have to put it in a separate skill section. You can show it in your roles and responsibilities, and that's why you start with this action verb. Then comes the context, like what is the project you worked on, or what is the role that you worked on. And then quantification is nothing but you should add numbers, quantify the result, the impact that you've created. When you put numbers, it shows that you're more credible, it shows that you have worked on that particular project, or on that role, right? It can be team size, or it can be they would have given you a very small budget and you were able to host a session, or there's a certain percentage that you were able to drive in your website engagement or social media engagement. Time frame you can mention. So when you quantify, it shows that you're more credible, and it shows that you have put in some work. And then coming to role alignment is something which we will see. That is, how can you align all these words? Okay, you'd say, okay, you're telling me add action verbs, add context, but how do I know what words to add, what context to add? That we will see in role alignment in the next section. Okay. So to quickly give you all an example of how to structure your sentence. So here on the left side, you can see the week sentence. Here, there's worked on a college project on marketing. But how can you rephrase it? Is partnered with a four-member team to create and execute a social media campaign that boosted the college club's followers by 35% in 6 weeks. Now, when a recruiter sees the left side sentence and the right side sentence, they will obviously go for the right side. This shows that this person is more credible. This person has some stuff and has done some real work, right? The second is even more simple. You'll be able to understand that participated in a coding competition. Okay, you've participated in a competition, but what was the result? What did you do in that competition? What kind of tools did you use? So that's where you rephrase it as build a working prototype in a 24-hour hackathon, placing in the top 10 of 60 teams using Python and SQL. So these are few examples which I'm giving you. You can think about your projects, about your um, achievements, or your internship or competitions like this, and think what was that exact action item, and are you able to quantify the result? That is something which you can see. And here you can see it did volunteering work at an NGO, and instead of that, coordinated logistics for a 200 attendee fundraising event, managing a budget of 50,000 and a 12-person volunteer team. So here, as a recruiter, when I see person A versus person B, I can see that, okay, this person has handled such a huge audience, and they are able to work within the budget, and they are able to coordinate with the team also. I get that confidence by seeing the second sentence, right? So this is how a recruiter is going to read through your profile. I will quickly show you one example. Okay, I will show you another resume, which, yeah. So here you can see this person has put the, personal details good. Career objective is quite very, it isn't that strong. To seek a challenging position in a reputed organization where I can utilize my skills and abilities for growth of the organization, and which also provides me the opportunity for self development. Okay, but what kind of skills do you have and what kind of opportunity are you looking for? That clarity you're not giving to the recruiter. Okay, and education wise looks okay. And then if you see the roles and responsibilities during internship, it is quite vague. Worked under the marketing team and got to learn how social media handling is done. Okay, what kind of social media did you handle? What kind of audience did you handle? What's the number? I have no idea. Was given the responsibility of posting content on Instagram and Facebook. Now, did you also create content, or how is it? Again, I don't have clarity here. Also did some research work for the company about competitor brand and shared it with my manager. Okay, what kind of insights did you get? What kind of tools did you use to do the data analysis? Again, I don't get to know it here, right? And if you see, all these are quite vague. And here if you see skills section, I get to know, okay, there are a few things the person has mentioned. And strength, again, hardworking, punctual, good team player, quick learner, positive attitude. Again, this doesn't tell me more about what this person can actually contribute, right? What are his or her transferable skills? That I don't know. Whereas if you see this profile, just give me a minute. Yeah. So the profile which I showed you before. So here the summary is very clear. I know this person is a final year BCom graduate who has hands-on exposure to digital marketing, market research, and event coordination. And then this person has given the clarity of what kind of role that they are seeking for. And then education I had showed you. And coming to the roles and responsibility during internship, you can see coordinated a 6-week social media campaign for client's product launch, growing the client's Instagram follower base by 35% within 6 weeks. Now, again, it is the same responsibility which I showed you in the previous profile, but that didn't convince me. But here I can see this person is coordinating with the social media team and worked on a client's product launch, and they were able to grow the follower base by 35% and researched and compiled a competitor analysis report covering 8 regional brands. Okay, that's good quantification. And drafted 20 pieces of social media copy and scheduled content using. So here the tools are highlighted: Canva and Meta Business Suite. So here I get to know the kind of tools that they've used. And event coordinator led a 12% volunteer team to organize a 200 attendee campus fundraising event. So again, here I get to know the kind of audience the person managed, and again you can see the budget. And negotiated with 3 local vendors to reduce event cost. So if this person has just mentioned I have good negotiation skills, I wouldn't be convinced. But here the person is proving it with 3 local vendors to reduce event cost by 18%. So the person is showing I have applied these skills in my role, right? So this is how you can frame your sentences rather than very generic ones. Okay, let me quickly swap to my PPT. Okay, so now we have seen what are the things to add in the resume, how can you structure it, right? And how do you make your lines look even more convincing, is what we have seen so far. And next, how can you draw that recruiter's attention, right? Now all the recruiters, they follow a job description that's given to them, right? They see the roles and responsibilities, they have certain keywords which they use to search for profiles, right? So whenever you are applying for a role, you'll also have the job description. It can either be on the company website or on the portals. If you're applying on LinkedIn, you'll have the job description there. If you're applying on Naukri, you'll have the job description there. Now take some time, read through that job description and see what kind of roles and responsibilities they've mentioned. See what kind of skills they've mentioned, what kind of tools they've mentioned in the profile, in the job description, and then align your resume accordingly, right? And here what I would suggest you all is have like a master resume where you have all your experience there. You have about your assignments, your project, your clubs, your volunteering experience, everything is listed there. And then you have a JD for say HR operations, and then compare what skills you have and pick those skills which are relevant to the job description given for HR operations and highlight those in your resume. Now say you are applying for a recruiter position. What is required for a recruiter position? They would have mentioned that in the job description. Pick those lines and highlight that in the resume. You don't have to add everything which you've done in your during your college time. You don't have to add in everything. It's just important for you to highlight the right thing using the job description. You can see the keywords, you can see the tools that they've mentioned, and align that accordingly in your resume. And one more thing is, whenever you're adding something in your resume, ensure that you will be able to explain that during your interview, right? If the interviewer is going to ask you, okay, explain about this project, you've mentioned you used all such tools, can you talk more about that? You should be confident enough to talk about all that. If you're confident, then you add all that in your resume, right? So this is how you can make your profile more convincing, and you can make it even more strong. And again, fresher doesn't mean that you have no experience and you have nothing to add on your resume. You have all these 7 things. I'm showing it again. You have all these 7 things which you can add in your resume. Again, you don't have to add all the 7 things on the profile. See what is worth highlighting in your profile and you can add all those. Then I've showed you how to structure it, and then use such action verbs like led, built, designed, coordinated, analyzed. Use such words to start your line. And if there's any role where you can quantify your result, see if you can quantify. And then comes your role alignment. That is, you see the JD, pick the keywords from the JD, that is the job description, and see if you can align that to your role and responsibilities. All right. And you finally have this checklist. So you all can take a screenshot of this. There are these questions, 8 questions, which you can keep it as a checklist whenever you build your resume. See if you're able to answer all these questions. Is your resume answering all these questions? Is my target role clear? So when a recruiter reads through your profile, are they able to identify, okay, this is the position this candidate is trying to apply for? Is that clear? Are my top skills visible in the first half of the resume? So whatever you worked on, whatever you're confident about, put it in the first half, put it in your summary. And then, have I shown proof of skill through project, certification, or internship? So just mentioning in the skill section is not enough. You have to mention it in your project internship. So your tools or any other activities which you've mentioned in the skill, ensure that you've mentioned it in your roles and responsibilities as well. And then see if your bullets are action based and specific. Have I included outcomes, tools, or results wherever possible? And is the resume tailored to the JD? Is the resume one page? Again, that's very important. As a fresher, you should just have it in one page. 2-3 pages, again, the recruiters are not going to screen through, and obviously even you wouldn't have much to put into 3 pages, right? Stick to one page, add all the details there. And finally, can I confidently explain every point in an interview? Right? So that is very important. And this is a checklist which you can have. You can take a screenshot of it. So yeah, so we have addressed what to add in your profile, how can you structure it, how can you align it with the job description to make your profile stronger, right?
All right. Thank you for that, Pavithra. It's really powerful presentation with a live example. So I'm sure a lot of you have enjoyed that. And I can see that's already got a few people in the chat box rethinking their resume content. Now, before we continue, we're going to take a couple questions that we have in the chat already from some of the audience. Let's just pick out one of the questions that I can see. Okay, so Atul has asked, "Hi ma'am, I'm a recent 12th pass student. Can you suggest me a tool to make a resume perfect so that I can find a suitable job for me as I have a normal resume?" Okay, great. Thank you for that question, Atul. That actually brings us right to our next segment, for which I would like to invite Himanshu, who heads growth at MyCareernet. He will be telling us a little bit about the MyCareernet AI-powered resume builder tool, which is available for absolutely no cost on our website. And very quickly, before we go into this, our Q&A section is going to go to the end of this session. So first, we're just going to show you a quick look at this tool, and then we'll take all questions from our audience. So over to you, Himanshu.
Thank you, Amrita, and thank you, Pavithra, for the powerful session. Now, I think it is very clear to our audience that even if they are fresher, it doesn't mean they do not have any experience, right? They have experience. They have so many things which they can showcase on their resume. That is their internship, their campus semester experience. They can show, they can talk about their projects. They can talk about the different things they have done with the clubs in the colleges. So our recruiters at Careernet over the last 28 years, they have gone through millions of resumes, I would say. And one thing they have been noticing consistently that there are many talented individuals who are not able to get any hiring call. So there are two main reasons. One is the freshers think that they don't have any experience. And Pavithra today busted that myth. Even if you are a fresher, you have experience. You have so many things which you can showcase on your resume. And the second thing is they are not able to build an ATS optimized recruiter friendly resume. So I'm going to give you a demo of the tool which we have built based on the feedback we have received through our 10,000 plus recruiters who have worked with Careernet over the years. So this tool is different from any other tool available in the market in a sense that it has the wisdom of all these recruiters as the baseline. So let me share my screen and let me give you a demo of the tool. And after the demo, please try building your own resume. So let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, so please go to my Careernet website, click on the resources, click on resume builder. And here you will find two options. You can upload your existing resume and you can edit it, or you can build a resume from scratch. Let us try to build a resume from scratch today. So for that, come to this card, click on start building. Once you do that, it will ask you to sign in if you already have an account, otherwise you can sign up. So I already have an account. I will sign in with Google. It doesn't take even 7 seconds. Yeah, so I am able to sign in. Yeah. So now I will click on start building. Once I do that, then after you will come to the page where you can see the different templates we support. So we have 20 plus templates which are ATS optimized. You can choose any of the templates you want. My favorite is classic, so I will go with the classic template. I will click on the next step. Once I do that, then after it will take me to the next screen, which is about the personal information. So here, because I have signed in with the website, it is able to fetch my details such as my name, my email ID, my phone number. I can add my LinkedIn profile. I can add my city. So for example, I'm in Bangalore. So yeah, I will add Bangalore. I click on the next. And in this window, I can put a bit about my profile summary. So for example, I have this draft which I can put here. And if I feel it is not really good, so we have AI for the rescue here. With the help of AI, you can enhance your profile summary. If you are not happy with this version, yeah, you can enhance it further. So something like that. So you can go through it. Then after you can click on the next. We come to this section which is about the skill. You can type your skill. So for example, let's say I say GTM. Right. The another could be PLG. PLG motion. I can add a secondary skill that could be, let's say, advertisement. Yep. I click on the next, and you can see as you are working on the resume, your resume is shaping up in the real time, and you are able to see it. You are able to see the preview on the right side. If you have an experience, you can add your designation, the company name, and other details. If you don't have, you can just skip it, and you can go to the education level, where I can add, let's say we have different options, 10th, 12th, diploma, UG, PG. I will choose UG. I will add the degree. I have done my BTech, so I will add the BTech here. I will type the university. I can take any university for now because we are just giving a demo. Year of passing out, let's say I take 2020. You must be wondering, this man has gray hair and he's putting the year of passing as 2020. How is that possible? So this is just the dummy data. And then I can choose the CGPA. Let's say percentage. Let me give myself 90% this time. And I click on the next. Here in this field, in this area, you can see you can add your project title if you have worked on any project. If you have more project, you can add those. For now, I will skip it. I will go to the section where you can add your certification, key achievement, any extracurricular activity. All these details you can add here, but for the sake of time, I will skip it. I will go to the next section. So now here you can see I have this resume ready. And if you do not like the template, the look and feel, you just click on the arrow and you can change the template. So whatever you like. So we have 20 plus template to choose from. You can choose any of those. And now if you feel this is a good resume, for example, this one, you're okay with that? Yeah, so you can just download it and you can start using it. So this is a very simple tool to use. You can build your resume, which are ATS friendly because all the templates what we have given to you all are ATS optimized. And as I told you that these are based on the inputs from the recruiters who have worked with the Careernet so far. So this is going to help you build a resume which is able to pass those ATS filters. So please try it out. We are going to share the link of this tool in the chat box. Please try it out, build some resume. If you want to get any feedback from our recruiters, you can share that resume in our Discord channel. Our recruiters will go through your resume and share their feedback with you. If you want to talk to our team and if you have any queries, you can also join our Telegram channel. So if you have any questions, please put in the Q&A and happy to answer those. Thank you.
Fantastic. Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Himanshu. That was a great little demo of our tool. And we have added the link to the resume builder in the chat box. So do give it a try. We'd love to know your feedback as well, if you have any for the tool, because we're constantly working on improving this for our users. With that, I think we can move into a quick Q&A session. So let me pick out one of the questions from our chat box. So Pavithraa, Snehit asks, for a fresher, do we need to add leadership and volunteering in our resume?
Yeah, so adding leadership and volunteering experience is actually good, but which area should you add that matters. You can add that in the last section, in your achievement section or in your volunteering or club section. In the end, you can keep it if you feel like that you've done a really good job in your leadership skills or your volunteering skills. There's no harm in adding that. And if you see it is relevant to the role, see how you can align it to the role. Structure the sentence accordingly, and you can highlight the words according to the role. So there's no harm in adding it.
Fantastic. All right, we have another question from Vicky here. So I'm going to summarize this question very quickly. Vicky is essentially asking how he would show a career jump in a positive way on his resume. So Vicky has done a diploma in electrical engineering and was employed, but due to some personal reasons, had to leave within 5 months during the training period. Now Vicky is doing his BTech in CSE and currently in the final year, 7th semester. So how can he show this career jump in a positive way? He feels that 5 months may create a bad impression about him. So how would he show this transition on his resume in the most positive way?
All right. So yeah, all of us would have this doubt, right? What will happen if I take a break after my PG or UG? And 5 months, trust me, it's not going to be a really big deal. If it's more than 1 year, then yeah, they might ask you like, what's the problem? Why that gap? But 5 months is still okay. And then I believe you had joined BTech in CSE after that, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to worry about the 5 months gap. Yeah, I think that's not going to be a really big problem, Vicky.
Great. Okay, we have a question from Atul as well. Atul says, "Hi, I have earned a proof of work through LinkedIn by working for a startup as a research and financial analyst. So should I add that to my resume?"
Yeah, now if it is going to align with the role that you're applying, again, if you're going to work as a data analyst or in the research background, then obviously you can add it. That's like a good add-on. You can go ahead and structure it like I said during the session. Structure it accordingly. What are they looking for in the JD? So what is your action item there? What is the context and what result? So if you structure it in that way, I think that's a really good point to add.
Great. Okay, new question that's coming from Ankit. Ankit asks, what about the CSE graduates who are right now working as technical support engineer and want to become a software engineer? What to do?
All right. So here again, what I would suggest is read through a lot of JDs. I will give my example. Okay, so I was a recruiter and I wanted to move into L&D, learning and development. Right now, I have no experience into learning and development, but how can I make that shift? Is I started to do my certification as a trainer. I started to build certain skills which is required to move into L&D, right? So if you are currently in a technical support role, to become whatever role you are looking for, read through the JD, see what the company is actually looking for, what are the kind of skills they are looking for, what are the kind of tools that they are looking for, or if there are any relevant certifications which you can do to help you transition to another role. You can start doing that. It just needs a little more research from your end. And I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. So you'll do it.
Great. Okay. Before we continue, and we still have a little bit of time, so if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask, please put them in the chat box. And while we wait for these questions to come in, I have something very special for any of our B School students who are currently in the audience. So let me switch my screen real quickly. There we go. Perfect. All right. If you are currently in a B School or you know someone who is, Flipkart is running the 10th season of Wired X, which is their national case challenge hiring contest. Tracks HR, business, and supply chain management. So this is for teams for up to 3 people. It's fully virtual and it can lead to pre-interviews and mentorship directly with Flipkart leaders. The top prize is 1,25,000 in Flipkart EGBs, and registrations are open right now until the 2nd of August. So if this is relevant to you or relevant to someone you know, the link is on the QR code on the screen. We will also share it in the chat box. So do check this out after the session. All right. I think we've got another question in the chat. Let me have a look at this. Purnima asks, "Hi ma'am, I am pursuing data science. Can you please give me any ideas of what kind of projects I could add to my resume?"
Okay. So, Purnima, currently, if you have worked on any kind of project which is related to data science, right? Now, I cannot get into the technicality of it because my technical knowledge is again limited, right? I wouldn't know the technicality of all the roles, right? So if you have done any project, again, it comes to you how you research on that role, right? If you see any projects or any certification or any internship which is inclined towards your data science which you're currently pursuing, you can start doing those. And once you start gaining experience into that, then you can add all that in your resume. So what type of projects is, yeah, you can do some research on data science related projects, and please take up internships. I think that is the great space where you get to learn a lot of things. When you have that hands on experience, you will get to know, be it paid or unpaid, take it, and you can build your skills that way. Right.
All right, that's great. Thank you. So I think those are all the questions that we have for tonight, or at least that's all the time that we've got on hand. And I guess that's a wrap. So, quick recap: the fresher label does not mean that you don't have experience. It means that you haven't yet learned how to translate what you've done into a language that lands. That's fixable tonight. So, a few things before you all go. Do try the resume builder tool that Himanshu has showed you, and the link is in the chat. If you're from a B school, check out the Flipkart Wired contest. Registrations close on August 2nd. We also have many other contests, events, and opportunities on the MyCareerNet website. Check that out. Other than that, we are available on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, Telegram, and WhatsApp. We will be sharing the links with you after this session so that you can view them. This session has also been recorded, so you can revisit it on our YouTube channel or on LinkedIn right here. So that's that. Thank you so much, Pavithraa and Himanshu, for joining us for this session and sharing such valuable insights for everyone who's attended today. And to all our attendees, thank you so much for being here. This is an ongoing series, the MyResumeClinic series by MyCareernet, and we will be hosting a session or two every month. So we really look forward to seeing you all at the next one as well. All right, thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you, Amrita, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Himanshu.
Thank you, Pavithra. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, team.
Thank you.